pasó, ya lo que pasó, pasó. La verdad que me enfrenté a un gran peleador como Floyd y aprendí mucho de ahí y eso es con lo que me quedo. Soy es uno de los mejores de la historia del boxeo. Bien, ¿no? Ya lo que pasó, pasó y nunca me va a dar la oportunidad de ver otra vez. Entonces, lo tomo así y para mí uno no pelea con él.
¿Me puedes mandar un saludo sobre el doctor? Doctor, feliz cumpleaños y nos vemos mañana en la tarde.
¿Quién?
Toto. Toto es el jefe de...
Toto, feliz cumpleaños. Nos vemos mañana si Dios quiere en la pelea. Muchas gracias por el apoyo.
Gracias al canal. Tranquilo.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blueblood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So what you just heard was 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer, who's currently the unified super middleweight WBC, WBA, WBO, Ring Magazine world champion superstar boxer, Saul Canelo Alvarez. 56 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, stands at 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. He will be heading into a massive undisputed showdown with undefeated IBF super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant. 21 wins, no loss, no draws, 12 wins by way of knockout. Caleb Plant is 29 years of age, stands at 6'1" with a 74-inch arm reach. That fight is scheduled to take place November 6th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the T-Mobile Arena. With that said, there was some interesting comments made on the part of Canelo Alvarez and his team and his longtime trainer of the year, well-renowned trainer, EDDY REYNOSO, as they were asked what he learned from Floyd Mayweather. And EDDY REYNOSO, he cut off Floyd Mayweather, and he stated that Floyd Mayweather didn't learn, Canelo Alvarez didn't learn anything from his fight with legendary, retired, undefeated, 50-0, Hall of Famer, Olympic silver medalist, 5-division world champion, superstar boxer, Floyd Money Mayweather. So what he stated was that Canelo Alvarez didn't learn anything from Floyd Mayweather. He indeed learned everything he learned and got everything he learned from Mexican legends, not Floyd Mayweather. Okay? Obviously, EDDY REYNOSO, he was feeling a certain kind of way when he made this comment and saying that he hasn't learned anything from Floyd Mayweather. When you clearly hear Canelo Alvarez himself says that he thanks Floyd Mayweather. That's what he was saying. Translation, he thanked Floyd Mayweather for giving him an opportunity, and he learned a lot from Floyd Mayweather. Okay? You can even see in his style that he learned a lot from Floyd Mayweather. Okay? You can clearly see he adopted a lot of things from Floyd Mayweather, and he implemented it into his approach, okay, to the sport of boxing. And he's admitting of this on numerous occasions. He stated that he learned a lot. Floyd Mayweather is a legend within the sport of boxing, okay? So for EDDY REYNOSO to say that Floyd Mayweather didn't rub off on Canelo Alvarez and Canelo Alvarez didn't learn anything from Floyd Mayweather and implement any of his style, it's completely false, okay? And he said he learned a lot from his Mexican legends, which I don't doubt. But the style and approach of Canelo Alvarez is not that of a Mexican legend. What Mexican legend fighter is EDDY REYNOSO referring to when he says that he learned his defense and his style from Mexican legends? Which one? Because Mexican fighters are not known to be slick boxers. They're not known to use defense, okay? They're known to be action-packed fighters. They're not known to be slick, defensively sound fighters, okay? Now, you may have a few here and there that are slick, okay? But Salvador Sanchez, but there's not a ton of Mexican fighters. That's not their makeup. That's not their background. That's not what they're taught. So for him to say that he learned everything he learned was from the Mexican legends and nothing from Floyd Mayweather is completely false, and it just shows that EDDY REYNOSO is still salty of what Floyd Mayweather accomplished, and that Floyd Mayweather was easy to beat Canelo Alvarez in their fight that took place 7 years ago. Okay, so EDDY REYNOSO wants to discredit Floyd Mayweather when Canelo Alvarez himself, who's a historian in the sport of boxing, okay? Canelo Alvarez is a historian in the sport of boxing. Their September 2013 showdown, Floyd Mayweather won unanimous. It should have been a unanimous decision victory, but it was majority decision because one of the judges miraculously saw the fight being a draw for both fighters, which Canelo Alvarez immediately following the fight, he stated, that's not right, that's not what took place. He clearly won the fight. So, Eddie Reynoso says that Floyd Mayweather didn't have any influence on Canelo Alvarez and Canelo Alvarez's style, when that's completely false, okay? Like I said, there's a handful of Mexican fighters that adopt, like I said, Salvador Sanchez was a slick boxer, okay? But for the most part, there's not many slick boxers that are Mexican descent fighters, okay? That's just not the makeup of their style, okay? Now, Salvador Sanchez was a legend. 44 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 32 big wins by way of knockout. He stood at 5'6" with a 68-inch arm reach. For sure, okay? He was a legend in the sport of boxing. No doubt about it. An anomaly, okay, when you speak of Mexican descent fighters. Because you think of Eric Morales. You think of Juan Manuel Marquez. I'm talking about most recently. Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya may be one of the slickest Mexican fighters. And again, his defense is not as slick as a Floyd Mayweather. The way Canelo Alvarez bends at the hip, the way Canelo Alvarez uses shoulder roll. What Mexican fighter from the past that used the shoulder roll? Okay, what Mexican legend boxer used the shoulder roll defense? That is clearly the rub-off and the influence of Floyd Mayweather, who mastered the style of defense and counterpunching and using the shoulder roll that Canelo Alvarez has admitted to adopting. So when Eddie Reynoso goes on a limb and says he's learned absolutely nothing from Floyd Mayweather, it's completely false, to say the least, okay? And it's discrediting and it's irresponsible on the part of Eddie Reynoso, because you don't have to be a fan of Floyd Mayweather. You don't have to like Floyd Mayweather, but you will give him his credit, okay, for what he accomplished in the sport of boxing. And he essentially passed the baton to Canelo Alvarez directly. He had him as his co-main event a few times on this card, okay, and then he gave him the opportunity at 23 years of age to fight one of the biggest fights of his career. Now, that's the only loss in his resume, but you can clearly see there was other struggles in Canelo Alvarez's career after Floyd Mayweather. And everybody says that after the Floyd Mayweather fight, Canelo Alvarez, he grew leaps and bounds. Okay, he learned his lesson from Floyd Mayweather, as he stated. But Canelo Alvarez is on record letting the world know that he indeed adopted a lot of things from Floyd Mayweather. And he says that Floyd Mayweather is a great fighter. Okay, he studies Floyd Mayweather. He let that be known. The counter punching, the pull counter, okay, the shoulder roll. That's all Floyd Mayweather. If you look at Canelo Alvarez, if Eddie Reynoso is correct in his saying, by his standards, then how come Canelo Alvarez wasn't fighting the way he fights prior to even fighting Floyd Mayweather? In what fight did you see Canelo Alvarez fighting the way he fights today's time, with the shoulder roll, using a pull counter, counter punching his opponents, bending at the hips? He even uses the shoulder bump and the jab to the, Floyd Mayweather, when you get close to him, he uses a shoulder bump to separate, to create separation. Canelo Alvarez uses that. The jab to the solar plex. That came from, you got it, Floyd Mayweather. Look at Canelo Alvarez's past fights. That just wasn't the makeup of who he was, okay? So for Eddie Reynoso to say that he learned absolutely nothing and Floyd Mayweather didn't rub off on him, it's completely false. And you can hear Canelo Alvarez himself, in translation, saying that he learned a lot from Floyd Mayweather and thanking Floyd Mayweather for giving him the opportunity. So where does Eddie Reynoso come off with stating that, Floyd Mayweather had no influence on Canelo Alvarez, and it was all the doing of past Mexican legends in the past that Canelo Alvarez got all his makeup from? That's completely false, okay? And again, like I said, Mexican fighters, that's where we got the whole situation with Canelo Alvarez and Triple G, when Canelo Alvarez was using a lot of movement in their first fight, and Triple G and the boxing world in its totality was saying that Canelo Alvarez was fighting as if he was timid, and Triple G said, I'm fighting more Mexican style than Canelo Alvarez, okay? Meaning that more Mexicans, they show a lot of heart. They stand toe-to-toe. They trade punches, okay? They're not known to be defensively slick boxers. That is Floyd Mayweather doing from Canelo Alvarez. And Triple G, he made it a point to let it be known that Canelo Alvarez need to fight Mexican style, and it went viral. And Canelo Alvarez, he said that he would stand in toe-to-toe and mix it up with him. But again, we know a lot of Floyd Mayweather's influence rubbed off on Canelo Alvarez, and you can see a lot of his approach in his training methods, and you can see a lot of it in his fighting style. So Eddie Reynoso, he wants to take full credit. Sorry, my friend. You're going to have to give credit where credit is due. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the real deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.